Hi, this is Taz in the kitchen. I hope you guys are having a great New Year's. I am still loving the New Year. The New Year is the best time for me because I always cook one of my favorite meals. And so I was about to eat and I thought, well, why don't I just show this meal to everybody? So I'm a Southern girl. So I grew up having a little bit of pork. Pork represents luck. You had to have collars because that was the green money that you're hoping for the year, as well as some black-eyed peas, which was the change. Well, my mother always did ribs, and so I kind of grew up with that, but she never really barbecued them when I was growing up. So she always roasted the ribs. In addition to that, we always had cornbread because I like cornbread. But this year, I decided I was going to change things up a little bit. So I'm going to lift my plate so you can see it. Well, I got my ribs, and my ribs are always barbecued ribs. Then I've got my black-eyed peas here. They're good because I'm going to taste all this for you. Then I have my collards. But I decided I was going to do something a little different. I'm going to show that to you also. I always have to have a deviled egg. Got to have a deviled egg. This year, instead of doing cornbread, I decided that I was going to do corn pudding. Now you're looking at it. If I hadn't told you, you may have thought it was cornbread, but it's not cornbread, it's corn pudding. And the recipe that I chose was really ingenious. It was sort of by luck, so to say. It's really protein packed. It didn't come out the way I thought it was going to come out, but came out better because it's full of protein, and I'm all about the protein. So I'm going to taste everything that's part of my traditional New Year's meal and let you know how it's tasting. Now, of course, I'm going to the ribs first because, who doesn't like pork ribs? They say pork's not good for us, but my grandfather lived to be 90-something and he was eating pork. They're so tender. I feel like this is a ball. I wish you could have some, but maybe another time. They're really good. Now I've got to try my black-eyed peas. They're good too. Some years I do hop and jug, but this year I didn't do hop and jug. I'm going to admit I was a little lazy. I didn't do hop and jug, but these are just as good. Now, my collards are good. I planned to put some jalapeno in there, but I just didn't, but they're good. Now, what I want to show you is what I did do was I took some turnip greens, and I like to saute them. It's my spin on eating good food, but a different way. And so what I did was I sauteed them with red onions. Let me see if I can get a red onion so you can see it. You see that red onion there? With red onions. And I did fresh garlic. And I'll tell you, usually I'll use champagne vinegar or I'll use red wine vinegar. This time I use champagne vinegar. And they're crunchy. In the South, sometimes we overcook I shouldn't say we overcook them. We like our vegetables soft. So when I saute the turnip greens, I don't cook them that soft because I want a little bit of crunch there. So it's really sauteed and it's a totally different flavor. I use garlic. I use onion powder. I'm the type of cook that whatever I'm feeling that day, that's what I pull down and I put in there. I used, as I said, some fresh garlic this time because I thought fresh garlic with the red onions would really make this good. And I don't normally eat vinegar on any of my greens. I didn't grow up liking that. But when I saute the turnip greens, I like to have a little vinegar. It's just a little kick to it. It's almost like having fresh lemon, so it's a kick. And so I really like that. So that's my reshaped thing. I'll talk more about it later, but that's the way I really like to eat is with the sauteed mustard greens. I keep saying mustard greens. I mean turnip greens. My daddy would get me because he gave me these turnip greens. And I haven't cooked the turnips yet. Sometimes I do turnips with onions and sometimes I do turnip fries. So who knows? I may show you my turnip fries once I've done them. Now, I got to show you my my corn pudding. It really almost looks like a souffle, And it was interesting because it's got 3 eggs in it. So that's the reason I say it's really protein packed. Now, corn has a little protein, but we'd have to eat so much corn to get the 1 gram of protein that's really in corn. But this has eggs, 3 eggs. I also used just a little bit of carnation milk because it was leftover from something else that I'm going to show you. And then I put almond milk, unsweetened vanilla almond milk in this. Did a little bit of nutmeg because I was looking at different recipes, so I did throw a little bit in. And I'm going to tell you, I don't do real sugar, so I use, I think I use like 6 packs of equal. It's not very sweet, so if you're looking for your corn pudding to be sweet, this one isn't sweet, but you could add more. There were recipes that I was researching that even had vanilla flavoring in it. So whatever you like, you can add it to it. But I was happy the way this came out because really, it's basically all protein for me. And I still get the corn flavor because I'm going to be honest, I didn't have any cream corn. So I had to pull out my, my little mixer, and I had to kind of puree my corn to give me some cream corn. I just didn't shop well this year. I don't know why I didn't shop well, but I just didn't. But I like the corn pudding. Now, I'm going to get another little bit just because I do like it. And I think, though, when I do this again, I'm going to do extra corn because the corn flavor is not strong enough for me. And when I eat, I want to taste my food. Okay, I want to make sure that it's good. Now, my family loves my deviled eggs. I'm not going to tell you guys my secret. They love my deviled eggs, so I couldn't not eat a little bit of my egg for you. I make deviled eggs whenever my family comes to me. And my mom said, I think it was, well, I'm about to say last year, but I mean 2020. She said, I never knew why they were just going on about the eggs because she never really got one. Well, she got one. And then she's like, oh, these are good. She's like, what did you do? I'm like, I'll never tell, Mama. I'll never tell. But my eggs are really good. And so that's the reason I was like, well, you got to have a deviled egg for New Year. They're good. They're very good. Very, very good. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to give you the recipe. It may be somewhere at some other point. But I'm going to tell you about this. My mother always made souffle. And my sister loves her souffle, and even last year I made some souffle and gave it to my sister so that she'd have it for the holidays. And I said to her, I made your ribs and I made your souffle. Did you have that for Christmas? I don't know if she had it yet. But anyway, I made it. I made it early. Well, I discovered I'm not a sweet potato pie girl. And this really is probably supposed to be a side, but it's so good that I don't eat it as a side. I started making sweet potato pudding last year because my daddy, he's retired, and so he kind of farms. And so I get, vegetables. It's almost like, from farm to kitchen sort of thing. So he's always giving me vegetables. Well, I had all these sweet potatoes. And so I said, let me see what I'm going to do with them. Because I don't like sweet potato pie. I'm sorry, I just don't. But I love candy yams and everything else with sweet potato, but not pie. Well, I discovered this recipe from a cookbook that I had bought I think I was in Savannah. Or was I wasn't in Savannah. I was in South Carolina. It's been several years ago. And so I said, okay, I'm going to try it. Well, I put my own little spin on it. When I say that something is good, souffle is good, but it ain't got nothing. You see, I'm getting a big hunk. It ain't got nothing on this. Nothing. This sweet potato pudding is so good. It is so good. I think there's a cake called Better Than Sex. It's better than sex. It is just that good. And I love it. And so this is really what I'm going to eat. I need to be eating the other stuff, and I'll eat a little bit of that, but this is so good. And I may eventually tell you my little spin on it, but it's good. So once I started making it last year, I took some home to my parents because they're my testers. I was my mom's tester when I was a little girl. She'd cook and I'd be testing the food saying, need more salt, need more sugar, this sort of thing. So I took some home. My daddy loved it. My mother loved it. My nieces loved it. And my sister. And I think my other sister and her family may have gotten some of this. Because they've gotten something recently. Recently they got it, but it was something that I cooked, and they were like, Teresa, really, what do they say? Put a foot in it? That's a Southern phrase. But this sweet potato pudding, it's the bomb. It's the bomb diggy. So I'm telling you, I had to come on, let you know what's cooking, because it's a lot cooking in 2022. But I wanted to show you what I'm eating right now. Now, every time I come on, I won't be eating quite like this. It may be more like my turnip greens that I'm sauteing. It may be that I am eating some beans like my black-eyed peas, because I do eat a lot of beans because it's a good source of protein and it's a healthy protein. I eat a lot of eggs and I've done deviled eggs many different ways. This is my traditional way here because, you know, sometimes I want what I call real food, and New Year's and Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter. It needs to be real food. But I will come on periodically. I may be showing you what I'm eating, or I may show you how I put it together. You know, my dad gave me some meat recently. And here in North Carolina today, we had probably every season right now. We had rain and wind and we had snow, and now the sun is out. But earlier I was thinking, I might make some chili. But if I make chili, I'm going to use a different meat this time. And I'm going to tell you, this is going to be different because I've never used venison for my chili. But my dad gave me some when I saw him. And so I thought, I'm going to make some chili with venison. And that way I get to share it with him and my mom. My mom's not going to eat it, so really I'm going to be sharing it with my dad. I thought it was the least that I could do, given the fact that he had given me the trying to wave at you, Cyrus, but I just can't get my little phone to wave back at you. But yeah, so I think that I may show you how I put it together, the bits and pieces of it, but certainly I'm going to share it with you so you can see how it tastes and make you envious, because I know there are folks out there that know a whole lot more about venison than I do. But again, it's a lean meat and it's high in protein, and so I'm the protein girl, so gotta have protein. So again, this is what I'm eating. Stay tuned. We got a lot cooking in 2022. And I hope you join me. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to put out there, if I can figure out how to do it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's going to be a lot cooking, and I don't want you to miss a thing. So please subscribe. I'll put something out there, even if it's not with this live, that you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and bye now.